You know, Patty, when I think about RVing and holidays, the typical holidays you think of are Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day.
Exactly.
But I thought what we should do today is talk about maybe spending the holidays other than those three in your RV.
Right.
In this episode of Travels with Delaney,
the podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick.
I'm Patty.
And today we are going to be talking about spending some of the non-summer holidays in your RV.
Yeah, we love to do that.
Yeah. But before we get to that, Patty,
okay.
we have to do a this or that.
Oh, no. I'm in the hot seat again.
You are in the hot seat because we have no guests this week.
Don't you think Truman could do it?
Maybe.
Or Bessie?
I mean, this is the first time I think that we've had Truman and Bess for a podcast recording.
I think because they see our new setup. I know everybody can see us, but we're in our new studio and we're on our little bench.
That's right. So if you're listening to the audio version, you probably won't notice anything. But you can check us out over on YouTube at Travels with Delaney, the podcast. It's a dedicated channel for our podcast, and we do a video version. And we have done some significant upgrades to our studio.
And I think with this little couch thing that we bought, they think it's theirs.
I think so. So they're in here, but I doubt they'll be saying a whole lot.
Right.
We hope they don't say too much.
Yeah,
but.
that's true.
All right, Patty, let's talk about
All right.
Dessert.
Ooh.
Bum, bum, bum.
I like dessert.
You're going out to the buffet on Thanksgiving Day.
All right.
Are you going pumpkin pie or pecan pie?
Ooh, wow.
Choices.
You think about this one. I do like them both, but I think I like one more than the other because I'm kind of picky on pecan pie. I like your pecan pie because you have chocolate ganache. So I'm going with pumpkin.
Pumpkin pie
with
for
whipped
the win.
Cream.
With whipped cream.
Yep.
Yeah, that's always a tough one. I mean, I'm a fan of pecan pie, too. Usually I do a little bit of each.
Right, you do. Yep. But, yeah, I'm kind of picky. It's got to be a certain kind of pecan because sometimes, they're too dry for me or something, or the crust isn't right. And, so pumpkin.
All right. And that seems like a good place to start this week's episode.
Okay.
Is at Thanksgiving.
All right.
So I don't know how many people think about having a non-summer holiday in their RV. And I guess the holidays I'm primarily thinking of are Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter.
Yep.
Maybe Easter more people do because that's closer to spring break.
Sometimes it attaches to school's spring break.
Right.
Yep.
And so that probably does happen more often than not. But I'm wondering how many people do Thanksgiving or Christmas while they're in their RV. And we have actually done both of those holidays.
Right. And it seems like just recently, I mean, like in the last 4 years maybe. We've added Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we did Thanksgiving 2020.
Okay.
Because we didn't feel comfortable being around family.
Right.
Not because we didn't feel comfortable being around them. We were just concerned we didn't want to risk giving them COVID.
And everybody was real kind of scared and not sure. And so we all kind of did our own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we actually took the RV down to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Right.
And spent, I think it was like 4 nights, 4 or 5 nights, down there at the Ridge RV Resort.
Beautiful place.
And, I think originally, I remember, like, how am I going to do Thanksgiving in an RV? And,
and you did it.
And we did it.
Yeah.
And so what I don't remember is if we had the oven or not.
I think we did because you did a lot of stuff.
That's what I think. I think that was before we removed the oven.
We had the oven. I know we did.
But I do remember this. I remembered that I wanted to still have a traditional Thanksgiving meal. And so I had taken our little smoker,
right,
which is the Davy Crockett from Green Mountain. It's the portable one.
Right.
And so I ended up doing not a full turkey because our smoker is not really meant
it's not
for
that,
And
big.
there was only going to be 3 of us because if you remember, it was you, me, and Alex, our nephew.
Yep.
So I did a butterball turkey breast. So it was an actual turkey breast, just without all the dark meat.
Right.
And so I ended up smoking that and a small piece of ham, as if a turkey breast was not enough for 3 people.
We had so much food.
Yeah.
Look back. We had enough food. We could have fed a lot of people at the campground. We had a lot. And everybody was doing like their way of doing traditional Thanksgiving. It just
Right.
You just saw people doing it outside or
Right.
with smokers like you say or on their grill. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, and we still did mashed potatoes and
Yeah.
gravy.
Mhm.
We did stovetop stuffing.
Right.
And I think the gravy was actually out of a jar.
Right, but who
Um,
cares? Yeah.
I did a green bean casserole, I believe, in the oven.
Yep.
And I also had a sweet potato casserole.
You did.
And then I believe for dessert, if I remember right, we had actually bought
We bought some stuff.
we bought a pumpkin pie.
Mhm.
I think we just went with just pumpkin pie
Right.
because, like, again, you do have limited storage with like a refrigerator.
Right.
But we pulled off this massive Thanksgiving meal.
We had so much food.
Oh my gosh. And honestly, we ended up setting outside, if I remember right.
Well, if you remember, we had ended up so lucky with beautiful weather in Tennessee. It was, mid 70s. It was sunny. It was not windy and cold. It was beautiful. So
Right.
you could enjoy the outdoors, which everyone was doing. It was just interesting to do Thanksgiving in a camper.
Yeah, I have to say that was a very memorable, in a positive way, Thanksgiving. And so, I think depending on how big your family is and how
Right.
big your RV is, it's definitely a very doable.
It's very doable. Right.
And, I would say probably the hardest part was the dishes when we were done, just
Right.
because, again, small space. That was when we had the lance.
Right.
And, but yeah, it was great sitting outside and really memorable.
It was nice.
Now, Christmas, we have done
A
multiple
lot.
times
Yes.
in our RV.
Yes.
We have been to Florida now for, I
Golly.
think, 26 of the last 27 years.
That is a long time.
Yeah. And one of those years, the one missing year, was the year we went to Texas in our RV to my
Right.
aunt and uncle's house.
Exactly. Yeah, we wanted to go there.
So we're very used to being in the RV at Christmas.
Well, and it's just funny because our niece and nephew, since they were itty bitty babies, because we had the timeshare then, they think it's odd to not be in Florida at Christmas.
I know.
So,
They always stayed in a timeshare,
Right.
and a lot of ours were in a
but
timeshare.
a lot of it lately has been in our camper.
Yeah, lately, obviously, it's been in the RV.
Right.
And so, I think the thing about Christmas is it's maybe less about the meal
Right.
and more about decorating.
Absolutely. You said it. Woo, woo, woo.
So, can you decorate?
You can.
You can. Yeah, we do, don't we?
Yeah, because we always figure out, like, for space, and even with the new alliance, we already have I call it a pencil Christmas tree, skinny little thing, but it's kind of tall. But anyway, we've always figured out how to do a tree, and you always come up with a creative way to do some twinkly lights or some garland or little stockings and puppy stockings,
Right.
right? So it's always fun, and then especially outside, you can add lights. And one time I remember blow up snowman or something, and different things that we brought with us. So yeah, it's all about the decorating.
Yeah, and I think the key with decorating the RV at Christmas time is picking out the right decorations, because you do have, well, I shouldn't say, we have limited
Yep.
space in terms of taking it. And so, finding things that will pack away. I
Yep.
usually try to pack everything into a couple plastic totes.
Right.
And so that when we get there, we can go into setup mode.
Yeah.
And this year is going to be a little crazy because you are not done until December 22nd.
Right. December 22nd at 3:18.
Yeah. And
Yep.
so we will literally head out as soon as you are done from
Yep.
work. And we'll, probably Friday night, the 22nd, we'll probably drive somewhere to Kentucky, stay at a Cracker Barrel. Saturday, the 23rd,
Right.
we'll get down into Georgia,
Right.
which means we are going to be rolling in on Christmas Eve.
Right. How
And-
crazy is that?
Yeah, and my goal is to be there by noon, 1 o'clock, so we will get far enough that we can do that.
Right.
But we're also at the mercy of the site being available.
Yeah, we need to make sure we are hoping that everything lines up perfectly.
Right.
That we can get in and get to the site early enough, like when they first let you in, and get going.
Right.
Yeah.
And this year we're
Yep.
doing something we haven't done in a few years. We are splurging for 5 nights starting on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
We are staying at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort.
Yes, we are.
And what we know about Disney is if the site's available, they will let you go to
Yep,
it
they
early.
will. Mm-hmm.
Checkout, I believe, is at 11 a.m.
I think so.
And so but here's the thing about Disney. They're not like a state park where the minute somebody rolls out, you can back in.
No.
They actually have
A cleaning crew.
Yeah, that goes and so they will not let you go to your site until it's clean. Because then once we'll have to go through check-in, although I have already done our pre-check-in, but you'll still have to roll up and finalize some things. Then we have to get to the site, get backed in, unhitched, leveled, put the slide out.
All the usual stuff for
all the
camping.
usual. And then we're going to need to pull out these crates
Dun, 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 dun.
and immediately go to Christmas setup.
Christmas mode.
And this year, that's going to include both interior and exterior. And so we know that we just bought that tree at Ikea, and then we're going to have to, before we leave, obviously pick out decorations. It is pre-lit, thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Yeah, we picked one.
And we're not putting it together until we get there because it's in a really nice box.
Tiny little box.
And I don't want to risk it not going back in.
Because you know how it's hard to get things back in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And then I don't know if you're planning. Last year, in the Lance, we had lights around the slide out. I don't know if you're planning on that again.
That'd be fun. I haven't thought about it yet.
And so probably you'll be doing most of the inside setup, and then I will be working on the outside setup, which will include an inflatable or two. We might end up getting another one.
I know.
Usually I have some lights that I string up on some trees or whatever's around there.
Yep.
And again, our lights will look minuscule compared to everybody else at Disney, because that's one of the best reasons to go to Fort Wilderness at Christmas.
The decorating that people do.
People go nuts.
They do go nuts.
We'll show up with our 2 tubs. There are literally people who will bring in utility trailers full of decorations.
Whatever, yeah.
And so we got to get all that done, and then
we have a dinner with family.
We have Christmas Eve dinner with family down at Celebration, and that's probably from Fort Wilderness. I don't know, depending on traffic. We're going to have to allow at least 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think so.
Or more. And I'm guessing Celebration on Christmas Eve is going to be nuts with parking.
Probably.
So, yeah, and I think dinner, Darren, our brother-in-law, said 7:15.
Yep.
So we have a lot to get done and that's the only part I don't like about arriving on Christmas Eve.
I know. I think we're going to be whipped, but it'll be fun.
And so we won't be cooking this year really in the RV for Christmas because then on Christmas Day, Alex, our nephew, is joining us. The rest of the family is flying home. They actually are going the week before. But Alex is going to stay an extra couple days. And so we will get up and have Christmas with Alex. And I'm thinking I may make a souffle.
Ooh.
My mom used to make this breakfast souffle a lot of times on Christmas morning.
Mimosas?
Yeah, maybe mimosas.
Ooh.
And then we have a 4:30, I guess we're going to call it an early dinner.
Right.
Very late lunch, early dinner at Steakhouse 71 at the Contemporary.
That'll be good.
And so we will be taking the boat from Fort Wilderness over to the Contemporary and have a nice dinner. And then after dinner, we will get on the monorail and go check out the lights at the Polynesian and the Grand Floridian.
Yeah, that's always fun.
And then make our way back. And that will be our Christmas day.
Yep.
So, and we have done, the last one I mentioned was Easter.
Yep, we've done that before because that's usually sometimes, not usually, but sometimes attaches to my spring break.
Yes, and when that does occur, I think that's occurred a couple times.
Right.
It's all how schedules fall.
Yep.
But I actually find Easter to be, again, a fairly easy
it's
holiday to
Yeah.
celebrate in the RV. Well, we usually like to do something a little more traditional, and usually that's just a piece of ham, maybe some scalloped potatoes. And I have to be honest, those scalloped potatoes you buy at Costco
are awesome.
It's not worth making.
No.
I mean, so, I think the last time I bought a pan of those, I had a piece of ham that I baked, and then, just a vegetable
Right.
and some croissants or something like that. And, so doing those definitely can be done. Now, I think for a lot of people, if you winterize your RV.
Right, that always becomes, like I
it's
don't know
like
if I wanted
winterized to go someplace for Thanksgiving or
Mm-hmm.
go someplace for Christmas. What we are doing, and we always do this, is we leave the trailer de-winterized
Yep.
until we get home from Florida. So, like right now, I have drained the lines and the tanks,
Right.
but we do keep heat on
Mm-hmm.
in our RV
Yep.
because of our lithium batteries. And so we have the propane furnace set to, I think I have it set to 45 degrees. And I also have a little electric heater in the underbelly or the outdoor storage to help with the heat on the batteries.
Right.
So we're fine until we just want to get by till we go to Christmas break.
Right.
Then when we get home, then we'll actually winterize the
It's
trailer.
called the Winterized, Unwinterized game.
Right. And then, because then we'll go out in February
Right. Always
for
do.
Valentine's
I
Day,
know.
which is another holiday that you can spend in your
Yeah.
RV.
Yeah.
Nobody wants the details on that one,
No, they
but
don't.
it does include chocolate
It does.
Yeah.
Chocolate. Mm-hmm.
and Amish country.
Yep.
But then that's probably a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then, so we just winterize, de-winterize, winterize, de-winterize.
It's a game.
It's a game.
Yeah.
But
How many times do you have to do it?
yeah, but I will say, if you've never done like a Thanksgiving or a Christmas in your RV, it should be something to at least consider
Right.
if it works with your family and your, that type of thing, because you can still have it. I don't know.
We've done it.
I would be sad if we weren't in our
Camping
RV. Yeah.
on Christmas.
On Christmas.
Yep.
Now, this year we're not going out on Thanksgiving. This is something else we should mention is this is our second year to do this. We have Thanksgiving with Patty's family
Right.
for lunch, and then we head out
Yep.
to Columbus, Ohio
For camping.
for camping, and this is the second year to meet our friends Jim and Abe.
Right.
We get in Thanksgiving night and get checked in.
And this campground is really cool.
Yeah, it's and I'm going to screw up the pronunciation, so
It's
you can let me.
Alum.
Alum Creek State Park. And what they do is they close down one of the loops in the campground, and an organization comes in and puts in one of those drive-through light displays.
Yes.
If you're camping there, they
Yep.
give you a free car pass.
They
and
do.
Last year, I think it was $20 to drive through it. And so because Abe and Jim had a site, they got a free pass.
Right.
And then we had a site, we got a free pass. I think we only used one of them.
I think so.
Because we all rode together.
Right.
But yeah, and what I love about that campground is it's just about 15 minutes from Ikea. And when there's Ikea, there's anything you can imagine,
Yep.
including Costco,
Yep.
outlet malls, shopping. And so fascinating that last year, Patty, on Black Friday, we went to Ikea thinking this is going to be a zoo.
And it wasn't.
In fact, it was so quiet.
It was eerie
You remember what we
quiet.
did?
Well, I know we bought some stuff.
Well, we bought some stuff. But we shot a video. That's
Oh,
how dead
yeah.
it was. Like, we could walk around and shoot video footage
I know
in
we had
Ikea.
food.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was eerie quiet. It was crazy because you usually think of Black Friday, how crazy the stores are. And I'm usually not a fan of that
Right.
at all. But yeah, it was interesting.
So that will be our Thanksgiving in our RV. We'll actually still be home
Yep.
with family for
Yep.
lunch, and then we'll head out and spend the rest of the weekend
Lots
with
of fun.
friends.
Yep.
And so, yeah, let us know if you have ever done one of those holidays in your RV and what you think.
Yeah, it's very doable. It's easy. It's actually, I look forward to it. So
I do too.
It's a lot of fun.
All right, Patty, until next time, we'll see ya.
Say on down the road.
Bye.
Travels with Laney. We'll see you on down the road.